If you're trying to build or grow your coaching business, then Alex Hormozi is the #1 person you should be looking at right now. And I studied him for over 10 hours to work out exactly how he's managed to dominate the coaching industry. And in this video, I'm gonna explain to you the 5 things that I found which you can apply directly to your coaching business to grow to 20, 30, 40K a month. I applied these tactics and made 104K with my coaching business last month, and I'm gonna explain exactly how you can do the same with yours as well. These are gonna be secret tips. You won't have seen them on the internet anywhere before. It took me ages to come up with them, but now they're here for you right now. If you can make it through to the end of this video, you can pick them up, put them into your business, and then you'll be able to scale effortlessly with no problem and with confidence that it will work. So let's get into why Hormozi's market dominance has occurred over the last few months. Well, the first thing he understands is there's this like zone that you need to have an idea of, the cold to warm zone. And Hormozi made that 200 million from his book launch, all because of the fact that he understood that he didn't want to be selling to people who had no idea. The problem with you right now is you're probably thinking like, oh, well, you know, there's people on the internet, there's people wandering around, scrolling their phone, interested in working with you for your business, but they're cold. They have no idea who you are, or maybe they've been consuming a bit of your content. Whereas Hormozi, he sold to people in what I like to call the warm zone, people who knew who he was, people who consume his media almost every single day. They are constantly getting value from him as a person. They are in the warm zone. And you need to understand that you need to take people from this cold to this warm zone before you can sell to them. He sold without sales calls. That is absolutely incredible compared to most people in the market who are having to get big teams of closers or doing closing yourself. And they are like, so you're struggling basically to actually close people. You're having to hard close people. He literally put up a link for 5K for a book and sold that. And that's because he understood the warm zone. He understood that he had to get people here. And that is all because of the amount of trust that he has built. He has put so much media out there. He's got so many people into this warm zone because of the quality of content that he puts out there, that he knows that when he releases something, he will have people to buy. So the takeaway for you, what is that? The takeaway is stop trying to sell to people who have no idea who you are and start selling to people who are warm, who trust you beyond belief. And that's exactly what I did. I put so much content out there that I've got so many people in this warm zone that when I put an Instagram story up saying, I've got 3 more spots left on my coaching program, all 3 of them get filled up instantly. And that's exactly how we did that 6-figure month last month. I just put up that story, and Hormozi did the same, and you can do too. The second thing that Hormozi understands and why he's able to make so much money is that he's not selling to children. And this is something I believe in so much because your content equals your clients. If you put up a load of lifestyle content with Lamborghinis, or even if it's just lifestyle content about where you live, about your values, versus if you put up value content, if you show that you know what you're talking about the subject area that you're coaching in, then you will attract those sort of people. If you put up lifestyle content, you will literally just attract people who want your lifestyle. If you put up value content, then you will attract people who want you for what you know. While I'm not saying you shouldn't just put up value content, if you put up just lifestyle content, you'll get people who want the life and not knowing the hard work and the value you need to get there. I put up value content like this whiteboard video to show that I know what I'm talking about, and that basically allows people or brings people to me, maybe like yourself, who want me for my value, who know that I can help them get to the life that they want, not just people who just want lifestyle. Well, Hormozi does the exact same as well. He puts up so much value that he doesn't get the Lambo boys, he gets the people who really want him for what he knows, and they at the end of the day are better clients. Also, Hormozi talks about long form versus short form, or posts a lot more long form than short form, because at the end of the day on short form, especially on something like TikTok, you have people just doom scrolling. People don't need effort. Whereas long form videos like this, they're teaching, they're educational. And if you get long form, if you post a lot of long form, you'll attract long form clients. And long form clients are people who want to learn, people who want value, and not people who just want a quick scroll and then are gonna just fall into your funnel and probably won't be great quality. Then, as I kind of mentioned there, the difference, you know, Hormozi talks about family, about values, about things that are for a kind of mature audience versus all your favorite gurus online who like flexing their cars. And the problem with cars is cars attract young Lambo boys. Family attracts older, more mature clients. And you can choose whatever you want to post, but at the end of the day, if you're posting value, if you're posting long form, and you're posting family, you're just going to attract a more mature audience. And let me tell you why that's incredible, because what will happen is you'll attract people with more spending power, who make firmer decisions, who are not flaky, and they're easier clients because they're more mature. And that's what I do. You're probably watching this right now because you're someone who's mature, someone who's experienced, someone who is happy to watch my long form, someone who cares about my values, like my family values, like my freedom values. I'm not someone who just wants, you know, talk. I've not got some car in the background, like I'm literally in my room just filming a value content here. And that's why you're the sort of client that I want to work with versus someone who just wants a Lamborghini and to live in Dubai and flex their money on the internet. So your content, the content you are posting, attracts the people that you want to bring in. And I much prefer these bits of content because they bring in the right people for me, but they also mean that I can charge good prices to the right people, to qualified, more mature buyers. And the third thing that he understands is what I call the leader versus the follower analogy. Because the thing about that is that Hormozi is a market leader. He does not follow trends as much as he leads them. You may have seen Hormozi's videos like months and months, or maybe even years ago at this point, with the flashbangs and the amazing captions and all that sort of thing. And he led that trend. But then as soon as he realized it wasn't working, and as soon as he realized, he pivoted and he decided to do a different style of content where he just does videos like this and he does content like value videos. And the thing about that is it's also authentic to him. He works out what he likes doing. I like making videos with whiteboards in front of me. I don't care about having fancy flashbangs everywhere. I want to be authentic, and he is as well. And it's this idea of this authority ICP matrix. Let me just explain what that looks like. So the thing about this is when you're thinking about your videos, you want to think about with authenticity in mind, you want to think about how can you get this middle ground where you are going to be good at something, you have authority in something, like me having authority in front of this whiteboard is something I'm good at, but will your ICP enjoy it? Your ICP being your ideal character profile, will the person you want to sell to enjoy it as well? You're someone who enjoys value videos, who enjoys whiteboard videos, who enjoys getting the real like educational stuff, so therefore you're going to enjoy this video. But my authority, you know, making 6 figures in 1 month by helping people scale their business, having a system that does that allows me to talk in this middle area. And Hormozi does the same. He's authentic. He talks about the things he has authority on, his authentic posts, but he also does things that his ICP are going to watch, long podcasts about business, all that sort of thing. He's a trend setter in that way. He pushes the things that he likes forward, and that means he is a leader. He leads markets. He doesn't follow, because people who just constantly create the same video as their favorite gurus, they are followers, and followers always lose to leaders. So Hormozi likes to say volume negates luck, and that is because of one thing, because he does so much of volume versus maybe you and I, right? So this concept of testing and iterating, testing, iterating, testing, iterating. And the difference between you and I and Hormozi is Hormozi does 10 times more testing than the majority of people. He literally posts so much content, he does so many data experiments with different funnels that he moves at 10 times of the speed versus the standard coaching business. Because when you do test and iterate 10 times more, you get 10 more data points to work out what's good. It's like if you post 1 bit of content, and if you post 10 bits of content, 10 bits of content give you 10 bits of data that says this works, this works, this doesn't work, this works, this doesn't work, and you can basically iterate from that. So Hormozi doing volume over basically just saying I want to be lucky and post once a week or something like that, it means it negates the luck. And that's the thing that I love about him, is he works so goddamn hard. That's why he's been so successful. But it's not just hard work, it's the data he picks up during that hard work. And I believe that's something that I've been able to do by making so many YouTube videos. I make 5 YouTube videos a week, also posting at least once a day, maybe twice a day on short form. And that's what you need to do, is how can you just work harder? Because the more work you do, the more data you get, which means the more you learn, the more you improve quicker, and then the more your business will grow. So volume negates luck. And then the last thing is he's happy to be wrong. There's 3 incredible stories that I think you'll love about Hormozi. Which is, first, Hormozi was fully against personal brands until he realized someone told him, you know, the impact he can have with his personal brand, and he accepted he might have been wrong. The second is investments. He was very happy to know that there are other people in the world that know things better than him. And then the third is volume. He is happy to accept. There's this great story about someone telling him, oh, the reason you have no idea what you're doing is because you literally have just not posted enough, or I think it was hand out enough leaflets or something along those lines. But all 3 of these stories are incredible because it shows that no matter he was like making crazy money, killing his space in terms of gym launching, he was very happy to be wrong. And that is something that I would recommend. I'm always happy to be wrong. I live with people right now who are always telling me things, you know, I can prove on. I'm always happy to invest in people as well to get more advice. And that is something that's important. I've invested 30K plus in myself right now to learn. And I think one thing that I would recommend is to be happy to be wrong, because at the end of the day, if you knew what you needed to know to get to where you wanted to be, to where your coaching business should be, then you would be there already. So you are probably doing things wrong or have wrong mindsets. Hormozi knew that. He was happy to learn. That's why he invested so much in other people, and that's why he is where he is today. And by the way, I help build and scale coaching offers. So if you're happy to be wrong and you're happy to learn from someone who has done that before, I've worked with 62 people right now to build their offers, taken multiple people to 20K plus months from zero. So if you want me to help you with that, then there's a link in the description. You can book on a call, no pressure chat with our team. You could be wrong. You could be, you know, one bit of advice away from that crazy business that you've always wanted. And I'm sure Hormozi would have done the same and invested in mentors as we do. That's why Hormozi did so well. Thanks for watching.